trying to get this together here.
Hello. Hi, Gina. Welcome.
Hi.
All right, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome to our Saturday continuing education class. And today is the best class because it's women's health and hormones, which is so fun. So we get to have a really deep dive into the care of these beautiful, exquisite vehicles we have as a woman. We're going to be diving into understanding the autonomic nervous system and the endocrine system, our reproductive system, and all the magic of the hormones that go to work to make those systems really thrive, and how we can use our essential oils, how we use Mother Nature. Of course, we use Mother Nature to support our feminine nature, right? So that's going to be the deep dive today. This is our Saturday continuing education collaboration between, and my name's I'm not sure if I said my name. Maybe I did. My name's Avesa Love, and I'm a CEO founder with my husband of Harmonious Essentials, a thriving team for the last 5 years of wellness advocates internationally, supporting the mission of empowering a healer in every home. And we are collaborating with the Corazon Essentials, Corazon Healing Arts Essentials team. Yeah. Founded by Dana and David Schwartz/Watts, who are Chinese doctors and acupuncturists. And so have a really thriving team. Wow, there's amazing 54 participants. This is maybe the most we've had yet. So we are rotating these core series of 8 classes. Yeah. And if you attend all 8 of these classes, you actually get to win a prize. You get to win a beautiful car diffuser and a special made blend. So we have a promo code for every single class, or I don't know if it's called a promo code, but we have a code for every class, and you're collecting these codes. And then once you have all the codes, then you connect with, your sponsor, your enroller, or your team leader, and let them know, and then they can hook you up with the gift. So today's, to no surprise, the special code is Clary Sage. So in your phone or wherever you are note-taking these codes, write down Clary Sage. Okay. And then next week, we will have, our class will be on stress, sleep, and emotions, okay? Same Zoom link every single Saturday. These are free. They're open to anyone. And they are a half an hour. So we're going to get right into it. Afterwards, we'll take a minute break, and then we'll have a really short piece. Those of you that are interested in learning more about doTERRA as a business, of sharing this with others, being part of the movement, and earning supplemental or replacing your income, stay with us after. And our goal is to be out in an hour with everything in total, but it'll be a 30-minute education on the oils. All right, so let's get started. All right, here we go. Okay. Beautiful. And then let me actually fix my little viewer window. That's not what I wanted to do. Here we go. Pin, and there we are. Okay, so let's talk about women's health and hormones. Do you guys know that we have over 200 hormones in our body? Hormones are the sort of the magic of what makes our bodies work. They're the chemical messengers that tell your stomach that you're hungry, tell your tissues, your muscles to function. You have hormones that help you sleep, hormones that help you heal, hormones that make your liver function right. They are incredibly important to the vitality of your life, to be able to live and sleep well, which is really important. Today we're going to focus, and there's 200 discovered hormones, right? So there's probably even more hormones that science has yet to discover. Today we're going to focus obviously on some of the primary hormones that are most noted for being out of balance. And I think it is almost impossible, to be honest, to live in our modern day and live in balance with your hormones. And I think it's really impossible, almost impossible, because of our stress. And we're going to talk about the effects of stress on our hormones, the effects of our malnutrition, And a big contributor is our toxicity that we are ingesting through the plastics, through our foods, through GMOs, through pesticides. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I like to always highlight this when we're getting into the beginning of these continuing ed series, because this is what the wellness lifestyle looks like. This is what we teach as wellness advocates. The foundation of our health is our nutrition, is what we're eating right now. I would probably also include in that water, right? Eating and drinking. It's also probably the foundational way that one of the foundational ways that our hormones are being disrupted. In our foods that are GMO, in the pesticides that are leaching into our waters, in the plastic, big contributor is the plastics that we are drinking our fluids out of or eating our foods out of. There has been the introduction in the last 60 years of these toxic estrogen-like chemicals called toxic xenoestrogens. They come from like the BPAs and on all of that. These toxic estrogens mimic our estrogen in our body. They bind to our neurotransmitters. And the result is that many of us, a lot of us, are struggling with what's called estrogen dominance. And actually, I wanted to, before I got actually into all this content, I wanted to just highlight this book. If you're wanting to really deep dive into hormonal care for yourself, for your clients, for your team, this book, Study with an Expert, right? This woman named Dr. Marisa Snyder, she is the hormone expert, one of the hormone experts in our doTERRA community. And she released this book, The Essential Oils Hormone Solution, Reclaim Your Energy, Your Focus, and Lose Weight Naturally. Highly recommend this book. A lot of the knowledge I have around how essential oils can really care for our system and our products and our lifestyle comes from this book, okay? So really recommend this book. And I also really got grasped the detriment that these toxic substances, xenoestrogens, are from reading this book. She really helped open my eyes to it. You can also, definitely, there's a lot of great knowledge in our Essential Life book as well. But the deep dive will be Marisa Snyder's. Now, so if you're eating toxic foods, that can be one of the ways you really throw yourself off. But we also have, our food can also be our medicine. So there are ways that we can eat that also are going to be able to support. And there's ways that we can supplement ourselves. You need to be absorbing magnesium into your bones to be able to produce the hormone melatonin in order to sleep, right? We need vital nutrients and minerals. So we can really do a lot of support give ourselves a lot of support in this area. We need to move our body also for the support of hormones. We know that after we exercise, there's a reason we feel really good. That's a hormonal response. We have oils to support with that, of course. Rest and manage stress. Okay, we're going to go a bit into this today because the cascade of the autonomic nervous system, when we go into stress response, we're going to talk a lot today about the HPA axis. It's our hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. We're going to get into that in a minute. If we are in chronic stress, my friends, my sisters, we are doing a huge damage to our ability to produce healthy estrogen and progesterone. We're pretty much limiting our ability to create that health in a healthy way. So, relaxation with our essential oils, we're going to talk about that, is huge when it comes to supporting healthy hormone balance in our body. Reducing toxic load, obviously, we spoke about that with our nutrition, but we can also really, at this point, it's impossible. We live in a society that has car fumes that we breathe in, right? Exhaust fumes. It's we're all sharing water and earth here. So we really want to have a proactive impulse towards how am I detoxing a little bit every day. So we'll talk about that. And then informed self-care. So this is where, for me, I sort of look at, certain cultures, like some of the Asian cultures, like the Japanese women or the Korean women, you can see sort of in their culture, right? They have these bathhouses. They've created more of a ritual around this treatment of themselves, like giving themselves treatments, giving themselves a lot of care. And as a woman, I feel like that is sort of the feminine nature, is to really be stewards of self-care, not only for ourselves, but for our loved ones, and to reintegrate Mother Nature into that. So we're going to talk about how we can use our essential oils and daily rituals to really start to utilize the essential oils to rebalance our hormone system. You know, and then of course, proactive medical care can be then the last thing. You know, maybe you don't need hormone, you know, a synthetic hormone therapy. But sometimes, obviously, we're not throwing out medical care all the way. We need, you know, if you need like your arm, if you got in an accident, you need your arm sewed back on, you know, go to the hospital. But the goal is that we're taking care of ourselves on all these other steps, so that proactive medical care is like the last and the least used thing, right? Okay. So let's do a little self-inquiry first. On a scale of 1 to 10, let's check in with our monthly cycle. Or if you're in peri or postmenopause, how are your symptoms? It was interesting. This has just been my personal experience or research. When I've talked with, I remember, for example, my dance teacher, she taught Indian classical dance. She came from India. She grew up in India, in a rural place in India. She never had any issues with her cramps. People in her community, the girls back then, they never had any issues. But she brought her daughter then to America and started raising her in this modern society. And her daughter has horrible cycle now. It's interesting, right? Or I know when I've connected with certain indigenous people, like women, they didn't really deal with all these huge menopausal issues or these huge cycle issues. So it just shows our modern toxicity and stress and like the impact it has. So how is your cycle right now? Or peri or postmenopause? I know so many of the women I'm talking to, they like are not sleeping, you know, or there's that emotional anxiety that's connected with an imbalance of hormones. Are there areas of hormone balance that are difficult for you? You know, like we spoke about mood swings, trouble sleeping, infertility. Adrenal fatigue was a big one that I struggled with, from burning the candle at both ends. I think that's most of the modern women. We're like just burning those candles on both ends. Hypothyroid, difficult losing weight, poor memory, type 2 diabetes. The good news is we have oils, we have plants to support with every aspect of these issues. So just do a little self-inquiry. If you want to share, if you want to ask questions around your specific issues, feel free in the chat to type out. We have a lot of amazing wellness advocates that can also help. And also feel free to unmute, Dana. If there's like a good question, unmute, because I'm not tracking it. Unmute and just ask me. Okay, so let's start with the female reproductive system and sort of understanding that a little bit. So this includes ovaries, our fallopian tubes, our uterus, our cervix, external genitalia, our breasts. It works closely with other systems, right? So like the autonomic nervous system, especially works with the endocrine system. The ovaries are what secrete estrogen. They're like sort of our dominant organs that are creating estrogen, although other organs do. They've even found that there was even research recently that the brain even creates some estrogen. So it's interesting, science. But also progesterone. These are crucial for fertility, but also play a key role in a woman's emotional and physical health. Now, remember what I was talking about. One of the most common issues right now is estrogen dominance. We have too many toxic estrogens in our system that are crowding our neurotransmitters, so that the healthy estrogen isn't able to flow. And so we're dealing with infertility issues. This is where a lot of the intensely painful cramps, women that just can't even get out of bed, is playing a role here. Now, nutrition and hydration are directly impacting the production of these hormones. So, you know, our hormones, they move through the bloodstream. Water is one of the core medians through which the hormones are moving through. So obviously it's really important to continue to remain hydrated. But we're going to talk a little bit more about nutrition. There's a reason why women go on a prenatal, right? Because we require certain nutrients vitamins, minerals, to be able to actually produce proper hormones. We need folate, for example. Our Lifelong Vitality Pack can be a prenatal vitamin. It's that comprehensive. It has the foundation for your optimum hormone and energy levels, packed with antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, and all these energy cofactors. That means it's supporting the healthy cellular function and antioxidants. So if you or someone in your life is struggling with sort of that your fertility areas, this is one of the first places to look at and to work on, is supporting yourself with. Bone nutrient. Now, as we are aging, there's a drop in estrogen, and we start to not absorb our calcium. We start to not absorb our magnesium. So we're not able to sleep as well. Our bones are getting brittle. These are all the things around menopause that start to happen. The bone nutrient complex can be a huge support. Bioavailable for both men and women. Bioavailability is sort of the key banner when we think of doTERRA supplements, is they're available. We actually absorb them. This is in their whole food nutrient. They're not synthetic. They're not extracted from rocks, which is how many of the supplements are in the market. So this is important as we're going through our waves. Now, this one is an exciting one. This is something I've been using myself as much as I can remember. I'm not always good at taking things consistently. Now, phytoestrogens. Let's talk about phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens are now the natural occurring estrogen-like chemical compounds that exist in nature. Not the toxic ones, the natural ones. Also that kind of mimic our hormones in a way. They aren't our hormones. They're not like a hormone replacement therapy. But what they do is phytoestrogens that we can eat, and also phytoestrogens that come in our essential oils. What they do is they help cleanse off the toxic xenoestrogens from our neurotransmitter. They cleanse them off. They'll help detox out toxic estrogens, and then they encourage the healthy creation of our natural estrogen. So they're going to really help. It says here they're going to assist to balance out the deficiencies and the harmful estrogen metabolites, which is going to minimize symptoms associated with our menstrual cycle, whether it's during our menstrual cycle or even menopausal. Okay, and it contains genistein and a fermented soy extract that promotes healthy breast tissue and brings balance to hormones in both men and women. The soy thing, it's like, wait a second, soy, it's bad. GMO soy is bad. GMO soy is bad. Pesticides and herbicides that have been used to engineer soy is bad. But soy clearly in and of itself is not producing cancer or imbalances. Again, we have to look at the Asian culture who have been eating soy every single day and living longer than anybody else. It's the modern manufacturing that is the issue, right? With everything, with everything in our lives. So these phytoestrogen can be a really great supplement. From my memory, you take 2 a day and you just pop them in your mouth with your Lifelong Vitality Pack. Okay. Now let's talk about the essential oils a little bit more. So the essential oils are also containing some phytoestrogens that are going to support the healthy estrogen and function in our body. But also the essential oils, not only do they work on this chemical cellular level, but they also are working with our emotions, right? And stress is one of the biggest things to tackle when it comes to especially fertility, but just overall wellness. So rose oil, emotional balance, rolling it over the heart, boost your libido. So this is a great one for a little bit of the frigidity. If you're not having enough testosterone in your system, if your adrenals are kind of burnt out so that you don't have any libido, this is a great one that will boost that. Promotes openness, and you can apply it to even the abdomen to relieve menstrual discomfort or promote regular ovulation. How cool is that? Rose is an amazing disinfectant as well, right? And good for immunity. So always have rose on you. Clary Calm.
Avesa?
Yes, please.
I'm going to just pause right here because there's quite a few questions coming in, and some of these things that you're going over might address them.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to let you know so you can maybe talk through it. So one of them is weight management, which really when we balance our hormones, right?
Yep. Oh, and just real quick, someone just accidentally drew on the thing. Yeah, thank you. Good job. All right, keep going, Dana.
Memory and sleep, which we'll highlight sleep a lot next week, but it is hormonal for sure. And then the last thing is there's like quite a lot of questions. It is very common, especially I know in the US, for thyroid conditions. And so I did address some of the questions in the chat, but I just wanted to make mention that those are the themes that are coming through.
Sleep, thyroid, and what was the first one?
Weight management, difficult losing weight, which is very common for women in their 30s.
We're going to get into that on the next slide. We'll boogie through this and gosh, it's already 11:22. I need
you have permission because it's so good, right? You have permission.
Okay. All right, we're going to run. Okay, so here we go. Clary calm, you guys. How many people here? I've had women that struggle with hot flashes. They put this on and literally the day they start using it, their hot flashes stop. I've had more than one woman. It's that effective. It's wild. Or I've had women that, especially menopausal women, they've really had amazing testimonies where they start rolling it and it's really great. You roll it along the inside meridian lines. So like the throat, the pulse points, the inside of your ankles where your ovaries are, the abdomen area, where they're emotional. You know, when you go through menopause, the emotions are a big struggle where all of a sudden they feel so much more grounded. And then this is a key one for those during your menstrual cycle to use, again, for cramps, for mood, all of that, PMS. So if you're really struggling with hormones, you feel like you're way, way off, I would just start using this every day, okay? All right, let's get into now that whole conversation, thyroid, weight loss, sleep. All right, so let's talk about, and hold on, my thing is like in the way. Okay, I can't read it because the thing is in the way. I have to escape and then move this down here. There we go. Thanks for your patience. All right, let's get into the endocrine system. All right, the endocrine system. I just want to point out for you guys real quick, just notice the endocrine system. We have the hypothalamus, the brain, the pituitary. We got the thyroid, the thalamus, the pancreas, the adrenals, the liver, and your womb, the ovaries. Do you notice that it looks like something else? Those of you that are yogis, what does it look like? The chakras, right? The chakras. Totally. So just notice, so when we're doing, for those of you that work in that world too, that are looking to balance these areas are the production of our hormones. Okay. So in this kind of system is something that Marisa Snyder talks a lot about. It's called the HPA axis, our hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis. Okay, I want to start there. And it might show it a little bit better. Yeah, hypothalamus, you can see it, pituitary, adrenals. When we go into stress, what happens is this chemical messenger is being sent. The hypothalamus and the pituitary in the brain is sort of it's the general, it's the one making all the orders for your whole body. So it sends these messengers down, and then the adrenals start pumping out the hormones epinephrine. I'm not remembering exactly the hormone, but I want to say epinephrine or something. But you start pumping out cortisol, and then our liver then, and when you need a really big burst of energy, so that you can run from the cougar, what happens is we need sugar in our bloodstream. We need sugar. So the liver then also starts converting our glycogen, our stored energy, right? The energy storage that we have, into glucose. So now suddenly we're flooded with sugars so that we have quick energy. Now, over time, if this is chronic, now what are we doing? When we are in stress response and we go into sort of the cortisol and like the glucose and all of that, what stops happening is the production of progesterone and estrogen. Our bodies can only do one or the other, is what this research is saying. So you literally are only, like, your fertility will be non-existent. That hormone function will be non-existent if you're in chronic stress. And at the same time, now you're creating this sort of almost addiction to sugar in your blood. So now when we talk about weight loss, the biggest thing, right, one of the biggest things that throws off our hormones, but also that, you know, creates this excess weight is like those sugar cravings we have, right? Where we're constantly snacking. And we know we emotionally eat, right? We emotionally eat also, not just because of course there's a comfort to it, but also because our blood system is like craving sugar because it's in fight or flight. It needs sugar to run, right? So this is where we also get into the danger of diabetes. So diabetes is very connected with this as well. So our oils, my friends, we should have our diffuser. You can see mine on back there 24 hours a day at this point with all that's going on in the world, right? We should just have the diffuser going constantly to help calm and relax, okay? So I wanted to point that out, the HPA axis, and that is the biggest thing is our chronic stress. You know, we might want to, you know, explore reducing our caffeine. In the book, she really talks about instead of coffee, instead doing matcha. I can't even do matcha. I'm so sensitive. And I love caffeine. I love it so much. I'm like an addict. But for me, I'm like, all right, chai rooibos all day long, right? Now, the liver is a huge piece of our healthy hormone function, right? Because we just spoke about it's being overburdened with converting sugars. And this is why, and then as this, and the liver is a big part of obviously our digestive system, but the healthy production of hormones in general. And so that's why a lot of times they tell women if they're going through menopause, they have to stop drinking wine because the wine is a lot of sugars and alcohol, obviously, which is also damaging the liver. And women they spiral into worse sleep and worse hot flashes as they're drinking wine. So healthy liver function is the underpinning of hormone balance. Drinking lots of water, our lemon essential oil, and our Slim and Sassy. So those are going to take care of two functions, not only weight loss, because Slim and Sassy, which with its cinnamon and its grapefruit, helps eat away at fatty tissue cells, but it's also going to help detoxify the system, help detox out even those toxic xenoestrogens. The lemon oil, every single morning, start with some lemon oil. You know what? They have actually separate slides for all of this. So let me just overview it here. We're going to talk about the liver, the pancreas, our adrenals, of course, and our thyroid. So we talked about thyroid. So we'll get into that. With the thyroid, I like that she says here, it's not a life sentence. Habits are critically important with nutrition and your stress levels and your water supply. And there's a really great, I think we're going to get into the roller ball. There'll be another slide. Let's get into it here. So we talked about the liver, healthy liver function, drink plenty of water, lemons, lemon sassy, and we have a Zendocrine detoxification soft gel, okay? The pancreas, supporting the pancreas, we also have, you can take 1 to 3 of our Slim and Sassy soft gels. So this is just the cinnamon, grapefruit, peppermint, ginger, lemon in a soft gel. So regulating blood sugar, especially if someone's struggling with diabetes, excess water. The adrenal glands, like we spoke about, the adrenals, if you're struggling with chronic fatigue, this is an area of major support. And also if you've just been chronically stressed. I love that they suggest magnolia. I love magnolia. It actually helps me sleep. You can roll it on the adrenals, so along the back or along the feet, twice daily, they recommend. I've also loved using grapefruit and basil. And then we have a supplement here, the Mito 2 Max. It's got your ashwagandha, the cordyceps mushrooms. It's got some superfood nutrients in there to really support the adrenals, and that can be taken twice daily. Thyroid, okay. I've had people have an amazing result with their thyroid. They actually do make this roller blend, 10 drops of clove, myrrh, frankincense, and lemongrass in a little roller bottle that you can make yourself. Top it off with fractionated coconut oil and just roll over the neck like 3 times a day. I had a woman who was on thyroid medication for years and years and years. It never shifted anything for her. And then when she went into the doctor after doing this, and her numbers had balanced, like it was really effective. So explore that. Even if you don't have the roller bottles, on you, just put a couple drops in your hand of each, rub them together, and then apply them like that. Okay. So you can do that daily. I also actually want to recommend in this, they didn't, I'm going to go back here for a second, not to distract you. They didn't in this book, actually, from Marisa Snyder, I also had a recommendation just for overall supporting hormones and detoxing from the toxic xenoestrogens. a blend of clary sage, grapefruit, and thyme. 2 drops of each, clary sage, grapefruit, and thyme, 2 drops of each in a veggie cap. And then you take that in the morning and at night. I've been doing that personally with the phytoestrogen to support with overall hormone balance. Now with sleep, if your sleep was, again, as a result of the, your adrenals, the cortisol, the liver, all of that, you want to, of course, look at taking out caffeine, taking out your wine, things like that, checking in about your sugar intake, and use your oils, right? Use your Slim and Sassy, use your lemon. But definitely for sleep, we're going to talk about that more next week, but we have supplements like the Adaptive, the Copaiba, and the Serenity. Okay, these supplements as well as the oils are going to be a huge support as you continue to detox out. You have to do it from the inside out. Like the foundation is going to be, make sure you have your nutrients, right? Make sure you are taking your supplements. Make sure you're, looking at even, am I buying GMO foods that have some of those toxins, like GMO soy versus organic soy or something like that? And then start using the essential oils, giving yourself daily body oil massages, having them diffused, anointing them throughout the day. And you're going to see impact. You're going to see a result. Here's a little sample wellness box. If somebody wanted to dive in and really go to work on their hormone balancing, the bone nutrient, especially for women that are aging in the menopausal area. Bone nutrient, clary calm, some rose, and phytoestrogen is a really good one. So any other questions? I'm gonna take down the share screen.
Can I just share one quick thing that I just learned about Mito 2 Max today?
Yes. Please.
And there's questions, I'm sure, but there is a complex in there. It's called oligolon or something. You'll see it on and it's what has the lychee in it, which is a very potent and unique to have it in an adrenal supporting element. And it's actually the little fire that's in this supplement in terms of really supporting our adrenals. And it's very, very paralleled out on the marketplace, as well as the ashwagandha in there. So I never knew, when you look at the ingredients, it says KSM-66 ashwagandha. And I never knew what that meant. And what that means is actually the company we're getting it for is the most researched, the cleanest, and the purest out there, that they patent an actual herb, which is very rare because it's so clean and powerful. So guess who put this in their order this month? I hadn't ordered it before after just learning about it. So I wanted to share my enthusiasm about that with you guys.
Oh yeah, the Mito, thank you, Dana. Yeah, the Mito 2 Max is amazing, amazing. Those are some amazing adaptogenic herbs. Everybody wants to have those daily. That's great, Dana, thanks. And then Jackie, we wanted to hear a little share from Jacqueline Oselin. I don't know if I said that last.
That was just right.
Yeah.
So I am going through menopause. About 8 or so months in, I went and had my levels tested. And so I immediately started taking the bone nutrient and the phytoestrogen. I'm out of the phytoestrogen and didn't realize my levels were low with that. So it's on order. But I've been taking the bone nutrient. I was feeling the effects of menopause a lot in my joints, with achy joints. And so this, along with the lifelong vitality, has been a lifesaver for me. The packets are amazing. I struggle with taking a lot of pills and trying to keep them organized, but the daily packs are tremendous. And then that, along with the phytoestrogen, the bone nutrient, and the clary calm, have really helped to support me as I've tried to balance all that I'm feeling in my body, in my mind, and my emotions going through menopause. So it definitely works. It is amazing. Amazing.
I love that. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Wow. That's great. Wow. And I'm just looking at the chat, like we have amazing doctors. I mean, because Dana's team's full. I'm actually not a doctor. So I am so impressed. Like Dr. Priya is talking about hydrating half of your body weight in ounces of water. Exactly. Sip, don't chug. Excellent advice. Any other sort of thoughts, shares, or questions? We breezed through a lot. And again, I recommend essential oil hormone solution if you want to dive a little bit deeper into sort of the science. She's really the expert. Clary sage, grapefruit, and thyme. Exactly. 2 drops of each in a veggie cap is what I've been doing. And the thyme is supportive for respiratory health and immune health, and a powerful oil for immunity at this time too. Cool. Feels like you guys.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
And Dana, I think I saw you type something. I have a woman who's on thyroid medication. She really wants to get on the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And you were saying just don't take them at the same time. Can you expand a little bit on that?
It's actually on thyroid medication. It's supposed to be the very first thing they take, and it's supposed to be away from anything else but water. You're supposed to drink a full thing of water, and they're supposed to be about an hour in between, just for the thyroid medication, the integrity of that medication to be working. So sometimes, like, for example, when I run cleanses with people, we recommend taking the doTERRA first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. So you would take that after the thyroid, you'd still wait, then you take the doTERRA. Otherwise, there's absolutely no problems. And I take thyroid medication, and through the years, it's actually one of the reasons why I started taking Lifelong Vitality. And through the years, my medication dosage has gone so low. It's really, really low. My hope is to get off of it. Like Avesa said, we are told once you're on thyroid medication, you'll never get off of it. Countless people have told me differently of their experience. Countless. Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you, Dana. And I want to just add too, I think when it comes to hormone, it is a process. It's not an overnight thing. Like, you really do need to detox to re-orchestrate the symphony of your system. It'll take time, especially when it's been like 20 years, right, of being out of whack. So give yourself consistency and patience and time and reminders on your fridge to take things. Nusha, did you have a question? Yeah, that was great.
Just to share, because I am on thyroid medication because I do not have a thyroid anymore. So I'm someone who will never be off of thyroid medication because of the lack of existence of thyroid. However, so I take my thyroid medication first thing in the morning with just water alone. And then little after, I drink my lemon water, even 4 hours between the thyroid medication and any other supplement. Basically, it's what's recommended. But I've been taking lifelong vitality for the last 3 years, and it has helped me with the side effects of not having a thyroid and being on a thyroid medication. Like, the energy, the struggle of the body is there's constantly trying to adjust to medication. Like, I do blood test every 6 months. I have to. And since I've been on lifelong, I can never say that, LLV proper, like, properly, my levels have been the most sustained, So as someone who will always be on thyroid medication, I still think the LLV has made a huge impact on how my hormones are functioning.
So great. Thank you so much, Nusha. That's awesome. Bobby's question is a good one. If you are on bioidentical hormone pellets, how does the phytoestrogen complex work with this? Do we know this answer? Dana, do you know it? Or do we have any other doctors? Dr. Priya?
So what I understand, and this has been one of the hardest things for me to understand with full transparency, the phytoestrogens and the xenoestrogens and the toxic estrogens and how to work with them, because you're thinking phytoestrogen, right? So how I understand it, and I'm always happy to be corrected or upgraded in my knowledge, is that this goes in and essentially, like a Pac-Man, eats away at the toxic estrogens, the ones that are causing problems. So it doesn't increase our estrogen. It actually is going in there and helping our body rid of the extra xenoestrogens that we're not wanting, that are happening from stress and complications and pollutants. And so my understanding is no, it might actually shift your hormones to be more balanced. And so whenever we're taking a medicine with our thyroid or our hormones and we're influencing them that way, I do recommend, this is where that top of that pyramid comes into that proactive healthcare. I do recommend partnering with someone who can do blood work with you, who is open to the way you're working with your body and saying, hey, I'm working with these things. You can even send them the things that you're working with in an email so they know, and this is what I'm doing, so that they can be your partner in your healthcare. right? Because we don't know how everyone's body is going to react, and you want to have something that you can monitor yourself with. And so that's my suggestion.
That's great. Thank you so much, Dana. Yeah, and we have such a large community of people that have been working with all these products, and so we can always, like that, you know, some of those questions we can always tap into some of the larger community and ask, even if we don't know the answer this moment. But that was a great answer, Dana. Awesome, you guys. Well, let's continue this journey together. Why don't we take now a 2-minute break? I'm going to stop recording.